Hi, good morning. I think it's still morning. This is Friday, May the 28th. And I've got something to show you. Look at this dude. He's got some attitude. Rather, as opposed to the previous snake that I had caught, which was very calm and relaxed. This one, I think it's still a garter snake because it has the characteristic stripes along the flanks. But look at his attitude. Like he has been attacking me all the time. It was really hard to calm him down. Now he's pretty relaxed, but he has been like trying to get out of this bucket, trying to jump out. Oh yeah, yeah, you look at this, look at this, look at his acrobatics, how athletic he is. He's almost like he rears up almost up to the height of the bucket, and he once escaped the bucket during the, the last 15 minutes I've had him in the bucket. You see how aggressive he is. He tried to bite me so many times. I had to drop him each time so that he wouldn't bite me because my hands are bare, and yeah, I know he is not venomous, but even getting bitten even by a non-venomous snake is not very professional, as I said before in my previous snake video. So yeah, there's lots of wildlife here. Tadpoles. I'm going to do a video on tadpoles also. Tadpoles, frogs, toads, at least two kinds of anurans, like the frogs and toad species. Might be some other amphibians also, probably salamanders also. And this is snake. You see, oh, you see how he's rearing up to the rim of the bucket. Just he's trying to get out. You see, he's 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 the most aggressive garter snake I've ever seen. I've seen like a few, not many in my life, but he's like crazy. And you look at his color. How yeah, I just brought him into sunlight so to make his color more clear. You see, I tried to pin his head down to the ground, like at least 3-4 times with a stick so that I can grab him by the head because he was so aggressive. Like I've grabbed cobras by the head, and which is very easy because of their hood. And their hood, it looks like it's an involuntary response to danger. As soon as they think they're in danger, they're in trouble, they expand their hood. And like once they flatten up their neck into a hood, I think it doesn't go away till they feel safe. So they once they erect their hood, once they rear up, you can pin their hood down by grabbing their head in the back. You can reach out, say if this is a cobra, if this is a cobra hood, you can reach out to the back, of the head, and pin there. Oh yeah, you see, he made it outside. Oh, there it is. There he is. He just escaped the bucket. He's so agile. This bucket is more than a foot high, and he leaped out of the bucket. Now I'll put him back in the bucket and see. He's going to try to attack me. I'm trying to make him angry. He opened his mouth so many times. He tried to attack me so many times. Now he's not attacking me somehow. I think this one, but it's still like has a very, I don't know. Like I'm not very good at sexing snakes. It's probably a male. Very aggressive. And look at the color. Look at, I don't know, like it might be easier this way, probably. And it looks like he has some injury here. I don't know. Oh, yeah, he's rearing up again. It was really hard for me to carry him like up to the bucket. I caught him in the bushes. He's so aggressive, and so agile. Yeah, if I could sell him, because he has got quite a lot of reddish shade in him. Like it's a unique color for a garter snake. They're usually black and yellow, but this one has got reddish orange tinge to him. I don't know how clearly you can see him. Maybe let me put him out here. You see now how reddish he is, like how much red and orange there is. Like he looks very much like the reddish. I think there is a reddish subspecies of garter snake that is like very red. Like he might have, maybe due to inbreeding or something. Like there's so much red and orange in this snake. It looks unique. So yeah, he's very relaxed now. Not trying to run away. Maybe he knows like if he runs away, I'm going to catch him again. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. You see? He's not opening his mouth now. Like he was all like he lunged at me just just like any venomous snake would. Like I first thought he was like, and he flattened his body. I don't know why. Like, and he reared up. It looked like he was a viper or something. Like his head, like when I pinned his head to the ground, just trying to grab him by the head, his head looked like he flattened up his head like into a triangular shape, like more like a viper. But he is a garter snake, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I'm going to try to drop him in water. Yeah, but there is no puddle here close by. Because this guy can eat tadpoles very easily. Slugs, tadpoles, earthworms, other small rodents. I think he's big enough to maybe even eat smaller vertebrates. I don't know if they are cannibals or not. I think garter snakes are not cannibalistic because they hibernate communally, like in large numbers. So like if they were cannibals, they would eat each other during hibernation, and that doesn't happen. So I think they are not cannibals, but this guy can eat. Like he's so aggressive. You see again. Yeah, my mentor taught me never to get bitten even by a non-venomous snake. And when you think you are about to get bitten, just drop the snake. Because usually bigger snakes that you can grab by the head are easy to handle, are much easier to handle just because they've got big heads. Cobras, they've got a hood, and their hood doesn't they don't relax their hood. Like once they erect their hood, like once they flatten their necks, it's the ribs in their necks that they flatten into a hood. Once they do that, it's like an involuntary response. Like as long as they keep, it's probably something like goosebumps. That as long as they feel unsafe, they keep their hood, their neck flattened into a hood, or their hood erect. If that is there's nothing to erect. It's actually like flattening of the neck. They flatten the ribs in the like they I think they contract their dorsiventral muscles, which flattens the neck, and it's the ribs that fan out into a hood. So once they do that, once they fan out their hood, they don't retract it back till they feel safe, and that makes it easy for to grab them, because you can reach out to the back of their head and you can just pin their hood down and just slide your thumb under the hood and grab them by the like put your thumb under their mouth, just keeping them from opening their mouth. But this guy, his head is so small. I pinned his head down with the sticks like so many times, but he just got he just wriggled. Yeah, he wiggled free every single time. So yeah, there he is again. I'm holding him by the tail just like the previous snake now, and he seems pretty calm now, not trying to bite me again now. At least he's not even like exuding musk that these garter snakes are famous for, exuding musk. And there is this, like, if you can see this black spot, let me focus it with the there is like a one of the belly scales that is a little uneven. It looks like there is an injury there. You see how he's curling up against his own body. He's a beautiful snake. I think this video is about to end. Only 47 seconds left. I'm gonna post it on YouTube when I get a chance, because right now I'm out of data, and it takes like 1 or 2 days. I'm just leaving in next week. Yeah, I'm leaving next Friday, so it's just one week till next Friday when I'm leaving. I'm going to make another video on the state of the forage, like how what stage the forage is in. You can at least see, the property has greened up pretty well. A lot of things have grown, are growing pretty well. Like I broadcast some rutabaga that's growing. There's birdfoot trefoil and clover. I'm going to do another video, but I wanted to do this one just on this snake, about to end, and